My name is Craig. I'm the physical trainer for North Dublin region, and I've been with Siel Bleu since March of 2017.
My name is Shane. I've been working with Siel Bleu since December 2014. I currently work in Dublin South.
Looking at maybe 30 minutes, maybe 5 times a week, I think is kind of average, the norm. So that can be split up in terms of maybe just separating your exercise regime, where it's light to moderate on some days, and maybe just trying to challenge yourself more, maybe 1 or 2 other days of the week with more resistance exercise, so body weight exercises, and then leading on to, if we have some TheraBands, they can be really beneficial for developing some muscular strength and kind of preventing your osteoporosis and arthritis conditions that can often develop as we start to get older.
Yeah, so as you touched on there, 30 minutes 5 times a week, that would total 150 minutes in the week. It sounds like a lot, but if you break it up like that, 30 minutes, it's really not that much. And I'd be encouraging maybe to bring some form of strength training that can be used in the bands, as you said, even up to twice a week, supplemented by walking or whatever you enjoy in terms of physical activity.
Maybe just even supplementing in some potential balance exercises, just in terms of fall prevention. So obviously as we get older, these things start to maybe potentially harm us. So just even single leg exercises, using the chair for support at times can be really beneficial in terms of giving yourself the confidence, and also building more tolerance in your body so that we don't injure ourselves. So again, we want to split it up, don't we? So we want to try and do everything in moderation. So you've got maybe one day where you're just doing light exercise, if it's walking or jogging, to look after your cardiorespiratory sort of function. And then leading on from that, you've got maybe another day where you're looking at stretching routines to try and give yourself more mobility and less sort of stiffness in your body. And then moving forward, maybe some strength work.
Yeah, so again, I would always recommend, if you can incorporate some form of strength training. That could be just using water bottles, tins for a form of resistance, or your TheraBands, which we see. I try and get that in twice a week, but split those 2 days up. Maybe one session at the start of the week, one at the end of the week, and we could have our walking in between. Or, as I think very important, as you say, some form of aerobic fitness where we're walking and working those lungs a little bit harder, but just within your own comfort zone. And then any activity at all that you find enjoyable and connect with, I'd just go with that.
Even just, a 500ml bottle of water in either hand, and just doing some single arm raises, or if it's arm curls, or even just walking distances with kind of light bottles of water in your hand, even can be cost effective, obviously. And then if we have
even a tin of beans can work in the same way.
Something heavier, and try and build on that as you get stronger. But things like TheraBands can be really beneficial, but try to rely on your own body weight at times, even standing up to sitting down, carrying out 8 to 10 repetitions of that, maybe
Balance
3 times a day. Exactly. And just single leg work by just raising one leg up and trying to hold that position for maybe 10 to 20 seconds. And again, it's really important to work slowly and not overdo it at times, and always try and kind of build on that week by week. I think it's about treating exercise more as movement at times as well, trying to change the understanding that movement is exercise. So I don't think it means trying to fit exercise in. I think at times it can just mean moving more and sitting less at times, just to prevent that sort of stiffness. And again, as we're getting older, we start to move less and sort of accept that we get older and we shouldn't be doing as much with ourselves. But with the time on our hands, it's trying to almost push ourselves at times.
And I think some form of goal setting is always good. If you just give yourself little challenges, it could even be as simple as 5-10 minutes a day. I'm going to walk for 5 minutes, or I'm going to clean the house for 5 minutes. Anything at all, just to set yourself a little target, and then maybe progressively just build it up. Just setting realistic targets that you can achieve and feel good after.
I think sometimes that's a reason for us to actually exercise and move, is if we are in that pain. And I think there's a bit of a misconception that people feel if I'm sore I shouldn't move, but there's also the sort of analogy that we have as trainers that if you rest you rust. So I think if we can get people moving a bit more and relying on their bodies that bit more, and not overdoing things obviously, but just trying to change the sort of feeling in the body that we can often get from feeling lethargic and stiff. We're that way because we haven't moved. So that's the onset of pain coming from that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, you see it all the time in our classes where people come in, maybe they feel a little bit tight, stiff, lethargic, low on energy, but after a workout, maybe 50-60 minutes of working out, they actually feel a lot better. You've just got the blood flowing, you've just got the lungs opened up, and all of a sudden you feel a lot better. So once there's no serious pain or illness, I'd absolutely encourage, within your own reason, to perform a little bit of exercise and really just movement, as you say.
Yeah. I think it's a good area to begin would probably be with stretching, trying to work into a nice breathing pattern as you do it, but having the right exercises to do are obviously really important as well, and finding out stretches that work for you. But I think it's trying to relieve pain by stretching, working into particular areas such as mid-back or neck, even some lower back or hip mobility can be really important just to loosen up the bigger joints of our bodies. And then from there, it's trying to, once we've improved on our stretching or flexibility.
And like, even from the simplest point of view, if you're stiff, and movement is the first thing I look at. Just very simply, if my leg was stiff, I just try and raise the leg into a leg extension, just get the blood flowing, just relieving that stiffness and feeling of tightness. So that's always my first port of call, is just to encourage a little bit of movement if you're feeling stiff.